In this tutorial, we are going to find the vertical asymptote and holes in the rational function f of x. First, we must factor both numerator and denominator. So we have to write here y equals 3x minus 12 can be factored as 3 times x minus 4 over x squared minus 16 is a difference of 2 squared, so we can factor this as x minus 4 times x plus 4. I forgot the parentheses. All right. Now, in factored form, it's easy to identify the zeros of the denominator. So, what are the zeros of the denominator? So we see here that the zeros are 4 and negative 4. These are the zeros of the denominator. Okay, now simplify by canceling common factors. So we see that x minus 4 and x minus 4 are common, so we can cancel x minus 4. What is the zero of the simplest form? Okay, let's write first the simplest form. Let's put it here first. I will insert an expression. And here's the simplest form, y equals 3 over x plus 4. All right, now let's check if all of these functions are equivalent. So the original function is, okay, let me hide this first. Original function is right here. This is the factored form, and it's also in the same spot. So that means this is correct. And okay, let's do it again. And then the simplest form is also on the same spot. So simplest form is equivalent to the original, and therefore we simplified correctly. Okay, now what is the zero of the denominator of the simplest form? What's the zero of the simplest form? So let's find the zero of the denominator. We want the zero of this, and that's going to be negative 4. Okay, now what feature of the graph is at the zero of the denominator of the simplest form? So let's find out what is at x equals negative 4. That's the zero of the denominator of the simplest form. So let's put here x equals negative 4. And we notice that this line is the vertical asymptote. So at x equals negative 4, the graph has its vertical asymptote. So let's put here the graph has a vertical asymptote at x equals negative 4. So now we should know where to find the vertical asymptote. All right, so now let's look at, okay, what feature of the graph is at the zero of the factor that is canceled? So let's go back and see which factor was canceled. We notice here that we canceled the x minus 4. So what is the zero of x minus 4? What makes x minus 4 equal to 0? Well, that is equal to x equals 4. So what is at x equals 4? Okay, so okay, here that's x equals 4. Now, if you look at the graph, there is no vertical asymptote at x equals 4. And so let's trace and let's see what we'll find in there. Okay, we see a missing point. Therefore, we say the graph has a hole at x equals 4. So we put here the graph has a hole at x equals 4. That's it. That's how we can determine the vertical asymptote and holes in rational functions.